Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Kapijana Vallabha Girdharadhari Jaya Kapijana Vallabha Girdharadhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girdharadhari Pijana Vallabha Jaisacinandana Brajajanarandana Jaisacinandana Brajajanarandana Jaisacinandana Brajajanarandana Jaisacinandana Brajajanarandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Radha Radhanath Radha Radhanath Radhe Jaya Radha Radhanath Radha Radhanath Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Gaura Hare Gaura Hare Gaura Hare Jaya Gaura Hare Nitage Haribo, 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 God Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudev. Go Premanandi, Sri Sri Radhanath ki, Sri Giriraj Govardhan ki, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Gaur Hari ki, ISKCON founder Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Vedavyasadev ki, Bhaktivedanta purports ki, Thai Go Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauranga. Good lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 9. Text number 14. Dhruva Maharaj returns home. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaivam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Uduraya Nasta Prayasya Bhadrasya Nityam Bhagavata Savaya Bhagavad Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. So text number 14. Kalpahante etat akhilam jatarena grinan shate puman swadrak ananta sakhas Tat Anke Yannabi Sinduruha Kanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmi Tasmai Kalpantaheta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Kalpantaheta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Shete Puman Svadhikananta Sakastad Anke Yanna Bisindi Ruvakanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pramato Asmi Tasmai Kalpantaheta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Shete Puman Swadhikananta Sakastad Anke Yana Bisindu Ruvakanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmi Tasmai Kalpanta Eta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Shete Puman Svadhikananta Sakastad Anke Yanna Bisindi Ruvakanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmi Tasmai Kalpantaheta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Shete Puman Svadhikananta Sakastad Anke Yanna Bisindi Ruvakanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmi Tasmai Kalpanta Eta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Shete Puman Svadhikananta Sakastad Anke Yanna Bisindi Ruvakanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmi Tasmai Kalpantaheta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Shete Puman Svadhikananta Sakastad Anke Yanna Bisindi Ruvakanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmi Tasmai Kalpante Eta Dakilam Jatarena Grinam Shete Puman Svadhikananta. Kananta Sakasta Anke Yanna Bisindu Ruakanchana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmitasmai Kalpanta Heta Dakilam Jatarena Griman Shete Puman Svadrikananta Sakastanke Yanna Bisindu Vakanshana Loka Padma Garbe Diyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmitasmai. You wanted to read? Kalpanta etad akilam jatarena grinam Shete puman svadvikananta sakastanki Yanna bisindu vakanchana loka padma Vediyuman Bhagavate Pranato Asmitasmai Kalpahante. At the end of the millennium, Etad, this universe, Akilam, all, Jatarena, within the belly, Grinan, withdrawing, Shete, lies down, Puman, the Supreme Person, Svadruk, looking upon himself, Ananta, the unlimited being Shesha, Shakha, accompanied by Tat Anke, on his lap, Yat, from whose Nahabi, navel, Sindhu, ocean, Ruha, sprouted, Kanchana, golden, Loka, planet, Padma, of the lotus, Garbe, on the world, Diyuman, Lord Brahma, Bhagavate, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pranata, offering obeisances, Asmi, I am, Tasmai, unto him. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. My dear Lord, at the end of each millennium, the Supreme Personal Godhead, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, dissolves everything manifested within the universe into his belly. He lies down on the lap of Sheshanag. From his navel sprouts a golden lotus flower on his stem, and on the lotus Lord Brahma is created. I can understand that you are the same Supreme Godhead. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Repeat responsibly. My dear Lord, at the end of each millennium, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, dissolves everything manifested within the universe into his belly. He lies down on the lap of Sheshanag. From his navel sprouts a golden lotus flower on its stem, and on the lotus Lord Brahma is created. I can understand that you are the same Supreme Godhead. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Dhruva Maharaj's understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is complete. In the Vedas it is said, Yasmin Vigyate Sarvam Evam Vigyatam Bhavati. Knowledge received through the transcendental causeless mercy of the Lord is so perfect that by that knowledge the devotee becomes acquainted with all the different manifestations of the Lord. Lord Kshirodakshai Vishnu was present before Dhruva Maharaj, who could also understand the Lord's two other forms, namely Garbhodakshai Vishnu and Karanakdakshai Mahavishnu. Regarding Mahavishnu, it is stated in Brahma Samhita 548, Yashyeka Nivasita Kalam Atalvalambhya Jivantilo Viraja Jagat Andanatha Vishnu Mahan Sayasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. At the end of each and every millennium, with all the material worlds are dissolved, when all the material worlds are dissolved, everything enters into the body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is lying on the lap of Sheshanag, another form of the Lord. Those who are not devotees cannot understand the different forms of Vishnu and the positions in regard to the creation. Sometimes the atheists argue, how can a flower stem sprout from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu? They consider all the statements of the Shastras to be stories, a result of the inexperience in the absolute truth and the reluctance to accept authority. They become more and more atheistic. They cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but a devotee like Dhruva Maharaj, by the grace of the Lord, knows all the manifestations of the Lord and the different positions. It is said that anyone was even a little of the Lord's grace can understand His glories. Others may go on speculating on the absolute truth, but they will always be unable to understand the Lord. In other words, unless one comes in contact with a devotee, it is not possible to understand the transcendental form or the spiritual world and its transcendental activities. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksharam Malitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunath Hanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyahevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is Dhruva Maharaj's reaction to coming face to face with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is described as a plenary expansion of the Supreme Absolute Truth. He's appearing as Kshirodakshai Vishnu, as the feature of the Paramatma that enters into each planet and into each created living entity within this universe. It is said in the Padma Purana there is 8,400,000 species of life existing in this creation, from the aquatics to the insects to different types of plants, bird life, human species, and so on. And among the human species there are different grades also, from the lower grades of existence to the higher grades, the devas, the demigods, also included in this 400,000 species of human life. So the super soul enters into each of these different entities. Jai Sri Sri Radharanath Ki Jai. So we can understand that Dhruva he did not see the original Supreme Person, but he saw the four-handed, because he said he was blessed by the Sank. Right? The Lord bestowed his Sank upon and blessed him with transcendental knowledge like that. So it was but still he was so amazed by this feature of the Lord, and he's offering wonderful prayers to that form also. So in the Bhagavad Gita, the Krishna explains how he enters into the universe, and how he from his different plenary portions, like explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is called the emperor verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1:3:28. Can still memorize that. Ete chamsa kalapumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete chamsa kalapumsam. So all of the many portions of a portions, ansa means portions of a portions of plenary expansions of the Lord. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That he is the supreme absolute personality of Godhead. He is Swayam Bhagavan. He is the absolute truth. This is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is considered the highest literature in all the Vedas, giving you such the absolute truth. And so, therefore, learned personalities, they accept this. But sometimes Prabhupada says, skeptics. There's skeptics and there's atheistics who debunk that the Lord, how can he, they try to imagine by the futile mental ability or the academic exercise of so-called knowledge, they try to, how is it possible that the Lord can manifest all these different expansions? How can he do that? So they dismiss this as mythological. Many times different authors may present like that due to a lack of fund of knowledge of what is the absolute truth, and they may speculate about God, whether there is God, does God exist, or everything is just theoretical, some figment of someone's imagination, and like that. So they can go on speculating like that. But devotees of the Lord, they take knowledge from the authorities. Vyasdev is an authority. Lord Brahma is an authority. Dhruva Maharaj is an authority. The different authorities in the material world also are there, which we take shelter of, isn't this? Lord Shiva, Narad Muni, Brahma. There's 12 actually, as the Lord of Death, Yamaraj, he explains in the 6th canto the 12 authorities there, and we should take shelter for absolute knowledge from these personalities. Mahajano yena gata sapanta. Mahajans. These are Mahajans. They are great. We get ordinary persons. Mahajans. These are great. Jana means people or population. Mahajana. These are great authorities which we can take shelter of and understand perfect knowledge from them. Yes. So Krishna explains in the 8th chapter also. The 8th chapter, it gives a description of Brahma's, Brahma, the first created personality in this universe. He is described as the secondary creator. Saga, Visaga. This is the Bhagavatam speaks of 10 topics. Bhagavatam, Saga, Visaga. There's creation and there's sub-creation by Brahma. So first Brahma is created for the same purpose of creation. The Lord is through his different expansions, as mentioned here in these verses we read, through his different plenary portions, he creates. So the work of creation seemingly is very hard, isn't it? And we see the original personality of God is running around barefoot, playing with his cowherd friends. It's very inconceivable how to understand these things, that this is God. That this is God. It's very, very hard. Even Queen Kunti was, in a prayer, she was saying, how is this? You are fear personified. You are regarded as fear personified. Yet you are running in fear from a stick of Mother Yasoda. How can we reconcile all that? How is it? So persons who have this kind of mindset, they no, this can't be God. God is crying, God is in fear. But the Lord comes to display such wonderful Leela for his devotees. And the Lord ultimately is person, is a person, and he can have relationships. When we say God is person, that means there's relationships. Like we have relationships. Friends, lovers, like that. Different servants. We can relate to God and on the highest level, like that. But this is a devotee. And yesterday, Ganga Mata quoted one verse from Bhagavad Gita, 1855? Bhaktya mam abhijana. Is that the verse? Yeah. Only by devotion can one see me as I am standing before you. He's speaking to Arjuna. It's a conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. So we can understand that God is person, is personality. Only by devotional service. Only by devotional service. So Krishna gives the lifespan of Brahma. Brahma the first. Brahma, he describes Brahma's one day. That's phenomenal. It's kind of Brahma's one day is the total of the 4 yugas times 1,000 cycles. That's called a kalpa. A kalpa, the time measurement of the universe, the time scale. A kalpa. This is Brahma's just with one day. Is 12-hour day. Then he has a 12-hour night. So the total of the 4 yugas is 4,320,000 years. Now times 1,000 cycles. Do the maths. So he had 3 knots, you'll get 4,320,000,000. That's his one day, his 12-hour day. That's a kalpa. What about his 12-hour night? And Brahma lived for 100 such years. Prabhupada mentions in the purport there. 100 such years, and it calculated to some phenomenal figure. What? 40 trillion, 340 billion years. But interesting thing, he says there, but by the purview of time, calculation of time, Brahma, even his 100 years is like a lightning flash. And if they measured lightning flash, how many, what measurement is that? It just flashes within like a mega second. And that's Brahma's 100 years. God. But seemingly it's interminable and it's like eternal. But by the purview of time, Brahma also dies at the end of that millennium. He dies, and then but in that 12-hour Brahma's day, there's creation, and at the night there is annihilation. So this is constantly going on. In a constant flux, there is creation and there is annihilation going on. Bhutva, pralayate, like that, again and again. It is going on. I'll just read that verse from there. It says, by human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and also such is the duration of his night. Then he says, 19, at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifested from the unmanifest state, and thereafter, when the night falls, they emerge into the unmanifest. So this is going on. There's creation and there is dissolution in that time of Brahma's kalpa, in that kalpa. Yeah. Again and again, again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. They are helplessly annihilated. Then in the 9th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, a similar thing, he says, O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature. At the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. The whole cosmic order is under me, and under my will it is automatically manifested again and again. Under my will it will be annihilated at the end. Yeah. And Srila Prabhupada makes an interesting point in the purport. He says, now as far as the living entities are concerned, they are impregnated into this material nature, and as a result of their past deeds, they take different positions. Thus the activities of the material world begin. The activities of the different species of living beings are begun from the very moment of the creation. It is not that all is evolved. So that is very interesting. As some theories that we evolved from one amoeba or life form, isn't, to become human. No, it's not. According to this, it says that different species are begun from the very moment of creation. This 8,400,000 species have come up. So we can debunk Darwin's theories. It is just not proved up till now. It is not that all is evolved. The different species of life are created immediately along with the universe. Men, animals, beasts, birds, everything's simultaneously created, because whatever desires the living entities had at the last annihilation are again manifested. It is clearly indicated here by the word avasham that the living entities have nothing to do with this process. The state of being in the past lives, in the past creation, is simply manifested again. And all this is done simply by his will. This is the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And after creating different species of life, he has no connection with them. The creation takes place to accommodate the inclinations of the various living entities, and so the Lord does not become involved with it, at least not directly. The Lord, because the material nature is described as on the spiritual nature. So when he manifests again in another as there's Purusha avatars, there's Manvantara avatars. This is how the Lord he manifests himself in these different incarnations. The Guna avatars means this, the Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. They are engaged in the material activities or the maintenance. Lord Vishnu, Brahma is the creator, and Lord Shiva is the destroyer or the annihilator of the material universe. So this is all very technical, but it's nice to have a grounding of this kind of. Brahma Samhita explains very extensively the different portions, plenary portions of the Lord, and even of our Lord Shiva's, how is he manifested? Lord Shiva is manifested. The Lord, and they give a very nice analogy of that, of milk turning into yogurt. When milk, by some chemical arrangement, milk turns into yogurt. When we had some lemon juice or tartaric acid, some acid, it changes form, becomes yogurt. He said when the Lord desires to come to me, he comes in the form of Lord Shiva, like milk turned into yogurt. Of course, yogurt can't turn back into milk. We cannot. There's no. So this is how the material manifestation is there. Of course, there's Durga Mata is part of the. She's recognized as the mother. Lord Shiva is the father of the material creation. But there's a hierarchy. We have to understand the deeper of where Lord Shiva's source is coming from also. People with a lack of fundamental, they don't understand, they cannot understand. But these all explained very nicely, very concisely in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, very nicely, and one has to, Brahma Samhita explains these things, and we have to get knowledge from the proper authorities. Sometimes this knowledge becomes distorted, becomes compromised in so many ways. Therefore, the Lord is to come from time to time, or send His empowered Shaktivesh, empowered personalities to come and rearrange or make it right. Yada yadai dharmasya glani bhavati. Whenever there's a decline in religious principles, or there's of religious principles, or when the knowledge becomes compromised or concocted by different mental speculators, or proper call is, they are rascals. They've come to mislead the people in general, and as a result of that, when we take shelter of such misinformation, then we become also misled, like the blind leading the blind. Therefore, it's very, very important that we take the knowledge from source, from the authorities. Like this, Krishna is saying, this knowledge is coming. Evam parampara praptam. Evam parampara praptam. It's coming in a disciplic succession. Yeah, it's coming in and in that way, we receive this knowledge through sound, the Shabda Praman, sound by sound we hear. Like, interestingly, I was reading about Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami is the son of Vyasadeva. And for some reason, Sukadeva Goswami, he was in his mother's womb. He refused to come out. He was already a mature boy of 16 years old, still in his mother's womb. So his father became very concerned. And his father begged him, please come out, you should come out now. And he feared. He said, when I come out, I'll be contaminated by the material energy. And he saw that his father had attachment for his family and his brothers and sisters. So he said, no, it's Maya. So Vyasadeva had to go to Dwarika and plead with Krishna to come and speak to this child, to come out of the womb. So only then Krishna came and assured this child that it's okay, you can come out. It's fine. But the Sukadeva was born. He was born a liberated soul. And we see pictures. He's completely no clothes. He's completely unabashed. He's no inhibitions about him. He's described as a lifelong brahmachari, celibate. So the moment he came out of his mother's womb, he left home immediately. Didn't want to stick around. And his father had to run after him to plead with him. Then at some point, Vyasadeva sent a few Bhagavatam verses glorifying the Supreme Lord. And Sukadeva, when he heard that, he became very, very attracted. Just hearing these verses about Krishna's Leela, hearing about Krishna, he became attracted to that. The seventh verse in the Bhagavatam describes the Atmarama verse. Atmarama cha munayo. Describing this. Even Atmaramas, great liberated souls, become attracted to Krishna, or the form of Krishna, or the hearing the pastimes of Krishna. So the person was raised by Sonaka Rishi to Shuta Goswami. Very interesting question. He said, Sukadeva Goswami was already in the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased in his own self, Atmarama. So, why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast literature? That was the question. Then Shuta Goswami explains that verse, the famous Atmarama verse. He speaks that Atmarama cha munayo nigranta api ukruk pramei kurvant ayatukim bhaktim hitam bhuto guno hari. So Shuta Goswami replies to Sonaka's question in this verse. All different varieties of Atmaramas, those who take pleasure in the Atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization through freedom from all kinds of material bondage, desire to render unalloyed devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities, and thus one can therefore attract everyone, including liberated souls. So 5,000 years later, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he meets with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. It was an interesting meeting. This Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya at that time was regarded as one of the greatest logicians of India at that time. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted this verse and explained it in 18 different ways. And Sarvabhauma was so enamored by this explanation, like he never heard it before from anybody. And he said, no, you must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one else can explain it like that. Nobody. You must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. So in this way, Sarvabhauma, he said, surrendered to Lord Krishna. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Of course, many other personalities were also in that, of being on the Brahman platform. Even the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras were attracted just by the smell of flowers, fragrant flowers, offered to the Lord at the lotus feet of the Lord, and they became attracted. And what to speak of Queen Rukmini? She never saw Krishna. She never saw him. She only heard about his wonderful Leela of Krishna, and she became attracted. And she, of course, we know she eventually married Krishna, isn't it? It's another pastime like that. So the Kumaras, yes, so one, you can see, just by hearing, we can become purified from all our, yeah. And Srila Prabhupada, he concludes the purport of the 8th verse of the 7th canto. He says, the theme of Srimad Bhagavatam is the cure of the materialistic disease of the human beings, or stopping completely the pangs of material existence. So what it means that we should become attached to hearing Bhagavatam regularly, reading Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam. That will be the cure for our material disease, whatever we may be afflicted with, whether it's the mind or the body or some different circumstances. But just hearing this Bhagavad, as Prabhupada says, even so for the atheists, if by chance they come into contact with pure devotees, impersonalists, Mayavadis, who denounce the existence of God, even they, by some good fortune, can become attracted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Is there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So you were talking about Lord Brahma earlier, and then I was just thinking, because Lord Brahma is like, he's a post, and any jiva can become Lord Brahma. So then, does that mean that every jiva that becomes Lord Brahma like enacts like all the pastimes of him, like speaks the Brahma Samhita and does pastimes like stealing the calves, and so does each Brahma, new Brahma, and in each universe, do they enact the same things?
Yes, Brahma is a very exalted position. It's like a position. And yeah, jivas, any jiva can. I don't know, I had some, like, actually we all were at some point Lord Brahmas. Even we all. It shows the expanse of this. That we all were. And yeah, it's a position, a very exalted position. I mean, of course, this Brahma in this universe is four-headed. Chaturmukha. And according to the size of the universe, Brahma has maybe more heads, 10 heads, 1,000 heads, 10,000 heads. Yeah. So, we just, it's beyond the purview of our thinking or our mindset, like these universes that are greater than this. We only think in terms of this universe, 3D, there's 2D, there's 1D that exists also, that beyond our capacity to understand and comprehend. Yeah. Even Bhagavatam is what we said, 12 cantos. In the higher planets, there's more cantos of Bhagavatam also. Yeah, so Brahma is a very exalted position, and Brahma is, there's a pastime in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where Brahma wanted to take audience, he wanted darshan of, he went to Vaikuntha. Of course, when he went there, the doorkeepers, Jai and Vijay, wanted his credentials. Who are you? What's your business? So Brahma was a bit amazed. He said, I'm Brahma, and I want to. So they went to the master and said, there's a Brahma outside. He wants to see you. He wants your darshan. So the answer came. So ask him which Brahma he is. And Brahma, when he heard that, he was so amazed. He said, what? Are there other Brahmas? And then when the Lord called him in, and then as the Brahma went in, there was Brahmas from different universes with 10 heads and 1,000 heads, and they all offered simultaneously, and there was a clanging of helmets on the floor. And so like that, sometimes the Brahma can become bewildered by his position and think, yes, isn't there's many stories where Brahma becomes bewildered by even by the material energy. There's many in the Bhagavatam pastimes. We can speak about that some other time. All right?
Well, I mean, since we all started as like a Lord Brahma, basically, did we all then, or every jiva, did they all recite Brahma Samhita and do those exact same pastimes?
I don't know about that. No. When I read that, he says, according to our previous desires, that we got a suitable body. And the Lord accommodated us according to our desires. Like this material world was created to fulfill all our desires. Yes, so that's probable. I wasn't there. Or was there, I may have forgotten. What do you think, Swarup? Raghu? She asked the question. We all wrote Brahma Samhita. No, that Brahma Samhita was actually.
Isn't it like a criteria to become a Brahmana? You must experience certain experiences in the universe that has with it certain energy fields. And once you conquer those energy fields, then you can become a Brahma. Then it's like going through basic training. You have to do certain things and attain certain things before you can achieve a certain goal. And I think to answer your question, is pretty much like they haven't got the same past lives, but probably similar energetic past lives that comes down to the same result of becoming a Brahma.
Yeah, initially Brahma didn't just become, he performed austerities, he did, yes. Because when he said at the time when he was created, when he appeared on this, it was all darkness. He doesn't know whether he was Atha or Mata. He didn't know who he was. So he comes down the stem, and the stem is not just one palm tree like this. No, it represents the three worlds, isn't the upper planets, the middle planets, and the lower. So he walked down this. It took him thousands of years, and he came into the shore, and he heard the sound, tapaha, tapaha. So he took that to mean, tapa means penance. He has to practice or do penances for many, and this is how the Lord, Tene Brahma Ride Adeye, the Bhagavatam first was, the Lord spoke through the heart of Brahma. That's how the transcendental knowledge received him. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jai Prabhu. a few days ago I was asking you about Swargaloka because I read that there is no death on Swargaloka. So I'm just wondering now, is it at that point in time where the residents of the heavenly planets and everyone in the universe becomes absorbed into the body of Vishnu that they may take birth again in lower planets? Or at what point in time, if there's no death, do they actually take birth in other places, in other bodies?
Well, according to this verse of Krishna, Brahma Bhuvana Loka. So from the highest planet, that means from Brahma Loka down, there's birth and death going on. It is the time is different. The time scale that is what is time is according to the time, place, circumstance. The time is relevant to that place, isn't it? Like Brahma's life is much longer, is 100 years compared to our 100 years. Or the demigods, the time is relative. That's the word I'm trying to. Time is relative. So within that time, there's partial annihilation and there's complete annihilation also within that time also. Yeah.
But then, is it meant that in Swargaloka there is actually death? It's just that the time span is so inconceivably long that it just seems to be like there is no death, but actually there is at some point.
Yeah. But taking into context that verse, Brahma, so from Krishna is saying they're miserable and they're temporary. So isn't Ashashvatam, Dukkha Layam Ashashvatam. So we can understand by what Krishna is saying there. That is still within the material realm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Raghunath. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Oh. Yes, he's famous.
Show your strength, Ganga. Strong.
Oh, everything we're saying is on my TV.